Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another video here with me, and it's been an interesting evening to say the least. First of all, we have had our update, and much like I thought, we actually did get a little bit of maintenance, extended maintenance. Alum, I think, was a little too excited about the idea that, hey, we can do this in 4 hours, and it turns out they couldn't. Anyway. So with that being said, the second batch of 7-star units is here, and boy is this music just slightly too loud for me. There we go. So I wanted to talk, I didn't want this to be a very long video, so I'm actually going to make this an incredibly short, well, okay, it's going to be a medium-length video, but I'm going to try and get through this very quickly and go through all of the units. What is the great things about them? What are the not great things about them? And a general impression, because we all have things to do. And for me, I have to be fusing a lot of cactars for all the damn 7-star units I have. Alum, please make them easier to level up. Alright, so let's switch over to the web. Oh no, that's a YouTube video. Oh, okay, there we go. Alright, first of all, we're going to talk about Luminara. Now, Luminara was the one I have been the most excited about because I've always been in love with this unit. Great design, great look, kind of interesting, and different from a lot of other units. Now, of course, her TMR we all know, but let's talk about the upgrades. By the way, thank you to Reddit for all the posted information. First of all, her limit burst goes from a max 390% 20 hit to a 18% AoE 20 hit. That's a slight improvement, so definitely her limit burst has been greatly improved, but does she get any new spells? No. That's fine, we're not going to be using her for spells. The big things are what she gets at level 101. Her Trust Mastery gives her an extra 20% to her HP, 40% to magic, and 25% more damage to demons. So she actually has a great extra bunch of power if she is fighting a demon. And I look forward to actually showing some fights with demons against her, which probably won't stand up very long. Anyway, what else did she get? Well, she gets a 25 MP ability that is 700% single target, 3-hit magical attack, 200% for each use up to a max of 2500%. Now, it can't be dual wielded or dual cast, so that is a problem. That's a big problem, actually. But that being said, that's not the real thing we're looking for anyway. 500% modifier to her Gale and Holy Shot attacks, which also have stacking damage. So basically, they start at 700%. That's a lot more damage. But let's just cut to the chase. What's the great thing about her? Well, her 150 MP ability finally gets rid of the use of singing and is pretty much like CG Nicole's ability. Available on turn 1 and a 5-turn cooldown, it is an AoE 13,000 HP heal, 135 MP, and an AoE 3-turn boost to the entire team. That's what AoE means. 135% to attack, defense, magic, and spirit. Finally, no longer do I feel the need for CG Nicole. Now, of course, 5 turns versus a 3-turn ability takes a little bit longer, but if you happen to have 2 7-star Luminaras, well, then they can just take turns casting and blast your enemies away in the meantime. Anyway, and to be fair, that's who you want to be chaining with anyway. Her limit burst and her level 120 ability is a limit burst fill rate plus 50%, 70% magic when equipped with a 2-handed weapon, so basically her TMR, which you are going to be using anyway, and 220% modifier to her best attack, Aerial Ray, which was 400% but got upgraded. Now it's a 30-hit wind and light magic attack that does 720%. I believe, let's scroll down. Yes, 720% plus 220 to a total of over 900% damage. This has already been an amazing chaining ability, and I absolutely love it. Now, it can't work so well in 10-man trials, but it is a massive amount of damage, and it really, really puts the hurt on the enemy. And in practice trying it, I was able to get, with a combination of units tonight, 65 million, and my Runeras were only level 111 and nowhere near as good as I could make them. There's a lot of potential here, and I will be working on both my Runeras, trying to get them to max 120 so I can show them off. But it is terrifying how much damage these can do. So I definitely think Runera got a massive upgrade to her kit. And if you can't see it as being a massive upgrade, well, yeah. Next up, Preesh. Alright, let's talk about Preesh real quickly here. She really didn't get too much from her 7-star. Basically, she got some damage modifiers as well as an upgraded limit burst that does minus 60% element in peril. She got a 520% AoE physical attack, which causes blind, confuse, and virus. Virus is pretty good. That's actually okay. She has an available 5-turn on a 4-turn cooldown. 1000% single target, 7-hit light physical attack, ignoring 50%, so basically 2000%, but yeah, that's kind of a long cooldown to use it for. And a 75 per MP 4-turn cooldown, AoE 3-turn, minus 60% attack and defense debuff, probably to the enemies, and an AoE 3-turn plus 120% attack and defense to your allies. That's a pretty good support, but how good is it in the long run when we have other buffers? Well, basically it seems like attackers are starting to get more support abilities, so it's okay. And last, she gets a 50% dark resist, plus 100% petrify resistance, 25% accuracy, and 100% equipped attack when two-handing a one-handed weapon, and 30% when dual wielding. So you can build her either way, but the true dual hand stuff is truly baffling. Long story short, Preesh didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, and without any extra combo moves to my knowledge, maybe retconning that eventually. Honestly, I think she ended up just being okay. She looks cool, and she might be useful in the future, but for now, we'll just move on. Next up is Mercenary Ramza. Now, this is definitely a unit that I think got a little better. Definitely better. So first of all, he gets a 600% AoE one-hit physical attack, ignoring 50% defense, so 1200%. It doesn't really matter. You're not building him to be a physical unit most of the time anyway. And he's an AoE stat buff removal. Some Dispel in there. It's okay for a limit burst. It's something that you could use. But what does he get in his 7-star kit? Well, first of all, he gets, when he has his TMR equipped, 30% to attack spirit, and 20% to HP, and 10% to all elements. I mean, this is a very durable tank. And that's kind of what I would end up recommending him, but we'll get there. He gets Entrust. Entrust is always great to pass off a limit burst to someone who needs it. A 10-hit fire physical attack of 680%, and he gets cover on cooldowns. They're not the best cover either, and honestly, it's kind of weird that they're on a cooldown. But as a tank, I think Mercenary Ramza actually is very good because he has an initial resistance to everything. So he could be a potentially good tank because he can just, status effects won't hurt him. And at last, he gets a limit burst fill rate of 50%, 1.2 times for limit burst damage, whatever, and a 200% modifier to one of his other attacks. It's okay. Honestly, I think he kind of ended up becoming a more interesting tank, but I don't know how many other people see the value. Next up, Night Delita. Oh my goodness, Night Delita. After the last Delita, how did this one turn out? Well, his limit burst goes up to a 1400% single target 4-hit physical attack, and minus 74% debuff to attack and magic. It's okay. I don't think it's that great, but it's okay. It's like every little bit extra helps with limit burst. It's just, well, we haven't got to another unit on the list yet. With his equipped TMR, 20% attack, defense spirit, and upgraded limit burst 200% damage, and defense break, and minus 100 lightning resistance for 3 turns. Oh, there is some potential if you wanted to make a lightning team. He gets the same chaining ability as Mercenary Ramza, so that's kind of cool. They can work together. An AoE 420%, single hit target, or single hit, with filling some of his limit burst crystals. His cooldown ability is an 825% AoE 1-hit physical attack, ignoring 50% defense. Massive, fairly massive damage there, but at 120 MP and a 6-turn cooldown, you definitely got to make your turns count. He gets a limit burst fill rate plus 50%, gaining 2 limit burst crystals per turn, so he's kind of becoming a limit burst crystal unit, or a limit burst unit. 25% accuracy, 50% to a weapon, when two-handing, 30% equipped, when dual-wielding. I mean, it's just giving us options at this point of how do you want to build your unit, which is cool, but going all in on one is usually better anyway. 120% damage modifier to a couple attacks, and 100% damage modifier to it, and 20 attack on top. Honestly, seems more like a chain finisher, but there's some chaining abilities in there with fire, so if you wanted to build a fire team, or maybe lightning, there's some stuff you can use. He's not as bad as regular Delita, and that deserves a thumbs up. Next up, Veritas of the Flame. Now, this is a unit that I've never gotten, and probably will never get. Basically is 540% AoE 1-hit fire physical attack, ignoring 50% is not a huge increase. It's definitely not one of the bigger increases we've seen in limit breaks, going from a 6-star to a 7-star. Does he get anything else that's really worth it? Well, let's take a look. 20% HP and MP increased counter chance by 1.5. 100% chance to ignore up to 1 fatal attack when HP is above 50%. Great. Nothing wrong there. I think it's okay. And there aren't that many axe users, so you're probably putting his TMR right on him anyway. He gets a 600% AoE 1-hit physical attack with a 90% chance to paralyze. He does more damage versus humans, and who doesn't dislike humans? And available on turn 1, he has a 3-turn cooldown. Give himself a 100% boost to attack and physical encounter on allies for 640% for 2 turns. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But his biggest attack is his 99 MP ability, which is a 7-turn cooldown, available on turn 8, not on turn 1. 3000% single target, 1-hit fire physical attack. Oh my god, that is just disgusting. But is it too slow? Probably. Not that he can't just do a ton of damage in the meantime, it's just that's a long time to wait, and, well, a lot of trials do make you want to get done in a certain amount of time. Anyway, but that is a massive amount of damage. And last and most importantly, 50% attack and defense when equipped with an axe, which, why would you not have him equipped with an axe? Massive damage in 1 turn, but maybe just generally too slow, so it fits his theme, I think. Next up, Veritas of the Light. We're just going to power through these. First of all, let's talk about her limit burst. Well, it goes from a 1220% AoE 19-hit light hybrid attack with the debuff to a max 2,520% AoE 19 hit light hybrid attack. Same debuff. That is a massive increase. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to give these units, like Veritas of the Flames, his limit burst just doesn't get that much of an improvement. But here, this is a huge improvement. Other than that, I absolutely love Light Veritas. With her TMR, she gets an extra 20% to attack, defense, magic, spirit, MP, all that good stuff. She gets a wonderful support ability in an AoE 3-turn, except Self, because why would you want her to have light resistance? Because she absorbs light damage, plus 100% light resistance, so she can basically cover the team quite nice. She has a single target stat debuff removal for 45 MP, and that's just plain garbage. At least maybe it could be, it's not that it couldn't be useful, it's just way too expensive in its single target. And oh my god, this is ridiculous. Available on turn 6, 5-turn cooldown, 3,600 to 4,000% AoE 1-hit light hybrid attack. Sephiroth can minus light resistance for 100% if you take down her enemy's defense and spirit. In the meantime, this is quite possibly insane, but until I don't have Light Veritas, and I'm very jealous. She also gets a limit burst fill plus 50%. Awesome, excellent, fantastic. And she gets 50% attack when dual wielding and 50% magic when dual wielding. So Light Veritas, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't tried this light attack, but that's massive. And at level 120, that's just the best kind of max ability she can get. I think she's fantastic. I really think people underestimate hybrid units, and that is just so much. I want to see someone do something insane with that, or maybe I'll get my second Light Veritas. Maybe. Anyway. Next up is the Prince of Pain, Noctus himself. Oh yes. Well, let's take a look and see what got improved on Noctus. As all you GL people just got your improved Noctus, here's our improved Noctus. Well, max 1480% 5-hit physical attack, AoE 2-turn, plus 124% attack, defense, magic, spirit, and self 2-turn, 30% damage reduction, granting an ability for 1 turn, goes up to 1680% 5-hit attack, 2-turn, 134% to all stats, except HP and MP, and self 2-turn, 30% damage reduction. Ah, beautiful. And still grants the ability. So it's a very nice improvement, I think. I don't think it's one of the biggest improvements, but if it went over 134%, it would probably just be nuts. Limit burst, definitely with Noctis, is great. Even though it's only 2-turn. Okay. We're getting there. So, equipping his TMR, the Ring of the Lucii, gives 50% extra physical damage and magical damage versus demons, humans, as well as spirits and the undead. So that's a lot of killer abilities for equipping his TMR, which is already an amazing TMR. Plus 20% stats for whatever Esper he has equipped. I like these abilities. I think sometimes, you know... Anyway, getting off track. He has an increased summon damage of 40%, which is interesting. That's not bad for someone who can do a whole bunch of other things. 120 MP randomly use a couple of different abilities. Now these abilities are brand new. Basically, Fire and Ice, Thunder, status effects, and it goes up to a maximum 1050% AoE 5-hit Fire, Ice, Thunder hybrid attack with 4 random status effects, and AoE 50% chance of stop. Basically, it's throwing all of the vials together. This could be a brand new type of horrible thing in Arena, of just hitting you with everything. Yeah, if you thought one of the flasks was bad in Arena, try all of them at once. Ugh, anyway. He also gets a 99 available on turn 6, 5-turn cooldown. Self, 150% to all of his stats, fills his limit burst, heals him up, and gives him some MP and an ability for 2 turns. Hey, you know what? We've already established how good Noctus's limit burst is. You definitely want to be using his limit burst. He gets a 30% HP plus extra limit burst damage. Basically, it's a limit burst unit. And his final ability, 30% attack and magic. When equipped with a sword, okay, 100% damage modifier to a couple abilities and 30% when attack when dual wielding. So trying to build him up as a hybrid unit. Swords are okay. We could always use some more sword units. But in general, I think he's a strong limit burst user that can help the team out. And if you can keep his limit burst going, well, that's pretty damn good. Alright, now we finally get to one of the most disgusting units in this talk. Oh my god, Lauren. As if Lauren was in the premium unit already, now she's making everyone really want her after she's out of the AX point system, but she will come back in the future, so don't fret too much, but this might get a whole bunch of people to actually spend money on the JP side. Maxximum originally was a 420%, 15 physical hit, ignoring 50% defense, minusing 74% from thunder and wind resistance, as well as granting some abilities for 3 turns. Now it goes up to a 750% AoE 15 hit, ignoring 50%. So that's a 1500% attack. AoE 3 turn, minus 79% to those elements, and still grants those abilities for 3 turns. Beautiful. Fantastic. And we haven't even got to the best part yet. Lauren is definitely a unit that got a lot from her 7-star. When equipped with her TMR, she gains 2 limit burst crystals per turn, 50% equipped attack when dual wielding, upgraded limit burst, plus another 100%, oh my god. Light Imperil at 74%, and she debuffs for 74% for everything for 3 turns. Dear God, that's insane. That actually, until we see CG Lid 7-star, this is the strongest debuffer in the game. Oh my god, that's massive debuff. Then at level 105, she gets 3 new abilities as 600% for a wind, thunder, or light physical attack. That is minus 65 resistance for that type of element. That's insane. 12 hits is a lot, especially when it can be dual wielded. But hey, that's not enough. At level 105, she gets an extra 50% equipped with a greatsword, a dagger, or a katana. That's a lot of masteries just in her kit. But that's not enough. Available on turn 1 on a 5-turn cooldown is an AoE 3-turn, minus 70% resistant, or AoE 3-turn, minus 70% to attack, defense, magic, spirit, debuff, and an AoE 200% limit burst fill rate for the entire party. That's insane. That's really literally insane. It's a debuff and it's helping your entire party get limit burst, including herself. No skipping herself. Oh my god, it's just nuts. It's nuts. And it's available on turn 1. Lauren just might be the best 7-star we've seen yet. Because she's actually just not a physical damage dealer, but here it comes. She has an 84 MP, 620% AoE, 30 hit thunder, wind, physical attack. 30 hits, and by the way, I've tested it out. It can be chained with Luminara pretty successfully too. And it has the wind thing together between the two of them. It's insane. 20% extra MP, and a 240% modifier to one of her attacks. Who cares? 230% modifier to attack. 125% and 110%. It doesn't matter. Lauren is insane. Probably the best 7-star improvement I've seen so far. And Lauren wasn't bad to begin with. I mean, she already has just a massive amount of stuff in her kit, including wielding 2 weapons naturally. Lauren is definitely the winner. I'm not going to pretend like she's not. Moving on, Cloud. Now, Cloud goes from an 810% to a 960%, which when you're ignoring 50% defense is fair. Okay, never mind. It's a 1250% ignoring 50%, so it's defense, so it's about 2500 for his physical, for his limit burst. Not the biggest improvement, but it was already one of the strongest limit bursts in the game for doing a lot of damage. So what does he get in his kit? Well, equipping his TMR, which you probably are doing anyway. 30% attack, 25% accuracy, 50% quick extra attack when two-handing. So yeah, that's pretty much what you want. He can dual cast all of his abilities, just like Squall. He has a 55 MP, available turn 1, 3-turn cooldown, remove attack debuffs, and give himself 250% attack buff for 2 turns. That's good. That's good. That's what he needs. So kind of like Squall, but better support for himself. He gets an extra 20% attack, because why not? And his last ability is Limit Burst Damage, 1.3%, plus 10% damage modifier to a couple of his ability, or to 2 of his abilities? Yeah, it looks like Cross Slash, and 50% to all of his other abilities. It's good. It's probably not what a lot of people wanted. A lot of people were probably wanting more, but keep in mind, we still have his enhancements to look forward to. So for now, it's pretty damn decent. Pretty damn decent. Beatrix, who, quite frankly, is she's actually pretty good if we look at it. So her limit burst goes from 520% to 675 for hit physical attack, ignoring 50% defense, and you get this kind of standard at this point, minus 74% to attack and magic debuff. It's in everybody's limit burst. What else does she get? Well, she gets Reflect on a single target. That's an interesting inclusion. It's interesting. From equipping her TMR, she gets a 20% attack, HP, and magic, and this is where we start to get weird with this one. Limit Burst upgrade to get an AoE 30% damage mitigation for 3 turns. That's just good support. That's just good. Oh my god. Anyway. At 110, she gets probably her best thing. If ability was used last turn, which is her... one of her abilities. She uses a 4200% single target one hit light hybrid attack. Oh my god. Else 1400% single target one hit light attack. She gets an extra 20% magic and 20% attack and defense, plus 30% attack when dual wielding and 30% undefined. I'm guessing it's magic though. So basically she's kind of becoming a hybrid unit, and at that percentage, one, it is slow that you have to use 1 turn 1 ability, then you get to use this ability. But is it worth it? Well, I have a 7-star Beatrix, so when I get to test it, I will let you know. And finally, Eiko, our first 7-star actual healer. Well, what does she get? Well, her limit burst goes up to basically the same amount of healing, but at a much higher modification, 6 times more of the mod, removes all the debuffs, and fills the limit burst by 9 to 10 crystals. So should be pretty much just a full limit burst at this point. And the song actually ran out before. Dear God, remember when I said this was going to be a short video? Ugh, anyway. No new spells, which is rather disappointing, I think. Or wait. No, I'm pretty sure she gets some new spells. But on an AoE? No, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm definitely wrong. No new spells. Getting a little too confused in the 11th hour. So what does she get? Well, for equipping her TMR, she gets 20% to defense, spirit, HP, MP, and here's the big part. This is the big part. Increase summon damage by 60%. That is insane. She already had, naturally in her kit, 50%, and you can equip her to have 40 extra percent, which puts her at 90%, so now she is at 150% extra summon damage, and 3-star summons are a thing. We'll get back to this. She has an AoE revive with 100% at 70 MP, that's good for a healer. A single target, 3-turn, 2000 HP barrier, and a 9,999 HP recovery. That's cute. Basically, it gives you a little extra HP and pretty much guarantees a full heal on a lot of units. Nothing wrong with that. Available on turn 1, 5-turn cooldown, AoE stat debuff removal, fill summon gauge, 3 to 5 crystals, and an AoE 3-turn. Some fluff flying around. 2000 HP barrier for the entire party. I like this. I like this as a brand new ability for healers to give extra HP. That's pretty cool. That helps some units survive a lot better. And it's filling the limit burst. Or summon. So, she also has an AoE Accept Self, 100% MP recovery, which is a massive amount of MP recovery for the small price of 60 MP, and fill summon gauge 5 to 6, basically Esper crystals. 20% extra HP, which is always nice, and her last ability, 30% to spirit, 50% extra to spirit when equipped with a harp. So basically her TMR. And a limit burst fill rate of 100% naturally with a recovery of 10% MP per turn. That kind of makes her just a general MP recovery unit. Now, let's talk about the... I don't want to go into too much depth. I'm getting this all out of the way, so when I do my 7-star unit reviews, I can talk more about them specifically. And this video has gone on far too damn long. So let's talk about it. Well, which units are the best? Well, I'm going to pick 3 units that are of my choosing, which I think are the best, and you can all write in the comments about how wrong I am. So which 3 units do I think actually got the best of this upgrade? Out of all of the 7-star units we went over, which ones are the best? Well, let's not delay too long. Let's just talk about number 1 for sure, without a doubt, is Lauren. Lauren was already a pretty good unit that just a lot of people didn't use. But now I think things might change and we might see Lauren's just as a bit more of just a great thing. For one thing, she's not the easiest unit to get at the moment, but at the time, if you were spending any money, she was actually pretty damn easy to get. Brave X-Face is telling me of things I need to do. Now she is just an amazing debuffer with a hell of a bunch of chaining abilities and support abilities for the group party. Honestly, in general, I always thought that she was an interesting unit, but now she is just an insane unit. that is easy to build. She has dual wield. She has masteries of all kinds of weapons that she can whip. She is one of the best debuffers. She has Riku's damn AoE limit burst fill rate increase, as well as an absolutely astoundingly fantastic limit burst. Let's just look at that limit burst again. With her TMR, it becomes even better, giving light minus, and as well that debuff. Oh my goodness. She is definitely the unit that I was not expecting to be #1, but she is. For my second place, and this might rub some people the wrong way, is Luminara. I choose Luminara because of a couple of things. One, just with her TMR, she gets a massive boost to magic, not even including anything else. She has the Sing ability, which actually she doesn't need to use anymore. Now, in theory, what you want ideally is 2 Luminaras that are 7 stars. Now that is the dream right there. But if you do, they can basically alternate between their 5-turn cooldowns of boosting the entire party's stats 135% and healing an amount. Even though it costs 150 MP to use that ability, she heals herself automatically for 135 MP. She does a massive amount of healing. And you're probably running a healer anyway still. But in general, she is just a phenomenal chainer. And the fact that she can chain with Lauren is another consideration that I had not even thought about until we saw the abilities. But now that we have, it is amazing. And 2 enhanced Luminaras are a steep cost, and with the gacha system, you just have to be kind of lucky to get to happen into 4 Luminaras and not just go for a super TMR, whatever that is. But definitely, I think Luminara is an amazing support and chaining unit, and if not else, she has other abilities she can use. Now, who am I going to pick for my third? Well, not Preesh, not Mercenary Ramza, although Mercenary Ramza is pretty close. Not Fire Veritas, or maybe Fire Veritas, maybe Noctus, maybe Light Veritas. We already know Lauren is the best. Now, part of me wants to pick Eiko. And to be fair, I think the 3rd place position is the hardest to be in. First of all, the fact that she can get 150% to summon damage is insane. And we haven't, and remember, there was a time when Bahamut plus Eiko or any summoner would just outright kill bosses. And now we have a summoner that can get plus 150%, and Bahamut hasn't reached his 2nd star form. Eiko could be a phenomenal unit in the future, but for now, it's hard to see her without doing too much testing just how much this actually means. Fire Veritas, again, has a fantastic, massive physical damage, but since a lot of bosses can be either physical resistant or just higher defenses, it kind of makes it hard to do as well, but I look forward to be proven wrong. So I'm actually going to pick Veritas of the Light. Now, for 2 reasons. One, while Beatrix has an incredible, and I really want Beatrix to be good, has that incredible 4200%, it does take a long time to use. Well, it's 1 turn on, 1 turn off. I love Light Veritas' 4000%, and the fact that her kit actually, A, helps her do a lot of damage 2 enemies, but also it's built for a hybrid. It's an extra 50% to each of the stats you actually need, and that's what hybrids need a lot more of. I think Light Veritas 7 stars is probably my 3rd place pick, but I could definitely... You know what? No. Here's the final verdict. 1st place, Lauren. There's no question, Lauren is the winner. 2nd place, Luminara. Amazing kit, I think, that actually solves one of her biggest problems. She can't do anything while she's singing. And 2 of her is just ridiculous. 3rd place is a tie for Veritas of the Light and Eiko. Why both of them? Veritas of the Light has a massive amount of damage that she can do in her hybrid kit, and is just a better hybrid kit than Beatrix. Sorry, Beatrix, but I'll try and build you properly. But my final pick for 3rd place as a tie is Eiko, because summons have been a huge thing in the past, and at a theoretical 150% to summon damage, 2 summons that can already in their kit, you can choose in the 3 stars to up summon damage. Eiko could end up being just insane in the near future, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with summons. Okay, alright, that's it. I'm done. I'm done talking about this. It is a great... I think it is in general a lot better 7 stars, but the big thing that makes it hard to recommend is that some people... or that 7 stars just take so many resources right now. They're 3 million gil just to awaken them. But in general, I think they are actually very, 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 very cool. I'm very happy with this set. I actually think there's a lot of variety and a lot of different types of units. But again, my final verdict. Lauren 1st place, Luminara 2nd, and a tie for 3rd with Light Veritas and Eiko. And things are subject to change when we actually get to experiment with these. Alright, so that's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I have. I'm going to actually maybe record a couple of videos here. So, till then, folks, keep going. We're going to have another batch of 7 stars next month, and who knows what the hell those are going to be like. See you later.